Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to be going through the second video in my Circle of Fifths sequence. So if you have not yet watched the Circle of Fifths sharps video, you're going to want to pause, go find that video, and watch that before you watch this. Otherwise, you're going to have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyway, last week we went through the Circle of Fifths. We started with C at the top. We remember C, no sharps or flats, and we filled out all of the information here. The bottom thing that we filled out was F sharp, and we wrote the number 6 next to it, indicating that it had 6 sharps. Now, when it comes to knowing what sharps are actually in the key, on the back of our paper, we wrote a little trick. We wrote the sentence, fat cats get, oh boy, fat cats get donuts at every breakfast. So looking back at our circle here, you might remember that, like, for example, the D was right here. D has 2 sharps. How do we know what sharps D has? Well, we look at our order and we say, well, it always goes in order. So we're going to use the first 2 sharps for the key of D, which are F and C. So when I go to play my D scale on a piano, all I need to know is that everything is natural except for F and C. F sharp, C sharp. This allows us to play any scale and any chord quite easily. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go review last week's video. All right, moving ahead here though, what we want to take a look at today is the flat keys. So we're starting at the top of our circle, and we're going to count down 5 from C. Let's do this using a guide, okay? We start with C. We're going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A 5th away from C would be F. Okay. Now, let's keep counting. 5 backwards from F. We're moving backwards today, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is some type of B. Okay, moving backwards again here. Count B, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be some type of E. You do the next one. Count backwards from E, starting on E, 5 counts. 1. You should have counted backwards to A. Okay, next, counting backwards from A, 1. Some type of D. And then you might say, Mrs. Carreri, I already filled out this one. Well, let's divide this up. Let's do an enharmonic, okay? So the same note, but using just a different way of saying it. So we're starting on D. We count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The note I want to write here is some type of G. What type of G is the same as F sharp? We take a look at the piano. We say, okay, well, you know, here's C. Here's F sharp. That's the same as G flat. So down here, we're going to write G flat. Now that we've got this under control, I've been a little bit lying to you. Here's why. All of the letters on this side of the circle, the side that we did last week, they sound good together. Like C to G sounds like a 5th. Twinkle, twinkle, do, re, mi, fa, sol, do, sol, you know. D to A, that sounds like a 5th. Do, sol. But the ones that I have written over here, they don't really sound correct. Like, listen, B to F. That does not sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol. That doesn't match. So to fix these up, I need to add flats to almost every one of these on the left side, with one exception. The key of F has 1 flat. You might have heard me say that in class before, and we don't need to write anything next to it. The key of B flat, how many flats would it have? Think about the pattern that we've been practicing. Well, the key of B flat would have 2 flats. It's the same as on the opposite side here, just that now we're dealing with flats instead of with sharps like last week. The key of E flat has 3 flats. The key of A flat, 4 flats. The key of D flat, 5 flats. And how do we know what flats they are? Like, why is this useful for you? Well, if you looked up the newest song that you really wanted to play, and let's say that song begins with an A flat major chord on the piano. Okay, First of all, we know chords. We know that chords are skipping notes. So we're going to start with some type of A, some type of C, and some type of E. Okay. We know that we're playing an A flat chord, so that means that it must be A flat. But we need to figure out, is C supposed to be C or C flat? Is E supposed to be E or E flat? Well, let's take a peek here. The key of A flat has 4 flats in it, and we need to figure out exactly which flats those are. So there's a trick for this. Please write this down on your paper. Order of flats. You might notice, oh wait, that spells a word. It spells bead, and then GCF, which takes me back to high school math class, greatest common factor, right? Sorry for that. But yeah, so we're working in the key of A flat, I said, okay. A flat, which has 4 flats. The flats always go in order. So the key of A flat uses these 4 flats, the flats of the word bead. So is this one of the letters in the word bead? It sure is. Is this one of the letters? No. Is this one of the letters? Oh, yes, it is. All of a sudden, I can play an A flat chord. With perfect accuracy, I know exactly how to do it. And you guys know how to switch chords from major to minor. So you're all set for that. Next, let's try playing a scale. So let's pick a scale from the flat side of our circle. Let's start with how about the E flat scale? Okay, E flat, 3 flats. What flats will we have? B, E, and A. Those will be our 3 flats for the E flat scale. So going over to my piano here, okay, starting with E flat. Was F one of those flat notes that we needed? No. How about G? No. How about A? Why, yes, it is. How about B? Why, yeah, that was one of the first 3. C, D, landing on E flat. As you can see, this is a really useful skill for all of you. One last thing I want to bring to light is, last week we looked at the order of sharps, right? F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And you'll notice that the order of sharps is the order of flats, like backwards. Look, this spells bead, G, C, F. So that's something to note. Anyway, good luck with this information. Turn this in for full credit.